You shouldn't take it to heart. Alice tried to console the shell-shocked Violet after she read every single comment under the Oracle's post. They think I'm a slut, Violet said numbly, turning to Alice. They've already made up their minds about me. Like mother, like daughter. That's probably what they're all thinking right now. She chuckled mirthlessly. Alice gave Violet a concerned look, then turned to Dion, hoping he might offer a solution. However, he simply shrugged. This wasn't his area of expertise. With a note of frustration, Alice reached out and took Violet's hands in hers. They're just jealous of you. Besides, she straightened up. It's not exactly unheard of to date 2 or more werewolves. Back in the day, according to the old texts, their moon goddess blessed them with multiple mates. In other words, you're not a slut, Violet. But instead of relieving her, those words only further traumatized Violet. Why in the world would she want 4 mates, especially those 4 jerks? That was a death sentence, plain and simple. Plus, how did the moon goddess blessing people with more than 1 mate have anything to do with her situation? Dion seemed to think the same because he leaned in and whispered to Alice. I think this is the point where you stop talking. You're not making things better. He swore the girl could be clueless sometimes. Don't be sad, Violet, Alice pouted, giving her a sympathetic look. I'm not sad. I wouldn't even care enough to be sad. People can believe whatever they want. It just took me by surprise, that's all, Violet said with a smile. But Alice and Dion saw through her act, even though they didn't call her out on it. Violet might pretend to be tough, but she was still human, and hurt like any other girl. As if to further prove she was okay, Violet grabbed her fork and dug into her now cold macaroni and cheese, along with a few other cold and half-eaten dishes. Deep down, she knew the food would be wasted. Coming from a poor background, Violet hated nothing more than wasting food, especially now when it was so plentiful. But what could she do? Even as she swallowed, she couldn't taste anything, having completely lost her appetite. The table fell into an awkward silence as they ate, until Dion lifted his head and seemed to stare at something intently, his brows furrowed in confusion. He muttered, Isn't that your boyfriend, Violet? Also, why is he coming our way looking like that? Even without a name being mentioned, Violet knew, instinctively, who it was. And when she turned, there he was. Asher freaking Nightshade. But Violet's expression didn't show anger over his earlier actions. Instead, she looked bewildered. What on earth was going on? Asher was still in his sports gear from earlier, but it was now bloodied and torn in several places. But that wasn't all. The Cardinal Alpha of the West was covered in dirt from head to toe, evidence of his brutal fight with Griffin's wolf form. His appearance was unsettling. His lip was busted, his face marred with cuts, and both eyes were blackened. But even with the severity of his injuries, his body was already beginning to heal. Minor wounds had already vanished, and the deeper gashes were slowly closing up, all thanks to his superior alpha healing abilities. Still, his disheveled, bloodied appearance unnerved anyone who looked at him. He was walking towards them, causing a sudden tension to swell in the air. Violet couldn't deny it. Asher looked intimidating with all the blood streaks, the torn clothes, and the wild look in his eyes. It was enough to send anyone running. But she was furious, and an angry Violet was a fearless one. And maybe Asher knew that, because he stopped a few feet away. His eyes locked on Violet. He didn't say a word. He just crooked a finger, beckoning her over like she was a dog he'd called. What the? Violet clenched her jaw. Who did this jerk think he was? The nerve! Her blood boiled at his arrogance. Her chest felt tight. But even with her death stare, Asher just tilted his head, waiting for her to come to him. Violet scoffed, like she'd ever do what he wanted. No way, not today, not ever. With a sickly, sweet, defiant smile, Violet turned her back on Asher. It was a huge insult to turn your back on a werewolf, especially an alpha like Asher. But Violet didn't care. Let him stew. Let him throw a fit. He could rot for all she cared. She took a deep breath, trying to ignore the stares of the other students, their eyes wide at her boldness. She knew what it meant to defy an alpha, especially a psycho like Asher. It was risky, but she did it anyway, standing her ground. Maybe she was asking for trouble, or maybe she just liked pushing buttons. Honestly, Violet had no clue what had gotten into her. What was making her play this dangerous game with Asher? He just got under her skin so much that she lost all sense. With her back to him, her heart pounding, Violet half expected Asher to charge after her. But the seconds ticked by silently. She didn't dare look back. She wouldn't give him the satisfaction. Plus, she was scared to see what he was doing. Asher both thrilled and terrified her. Then she heard a low growl behind her, barely there, the kind that would make anyone's skin crawl. But Violet held her head high, refusing to be intimidated, even as she felt a warm body press against her back and hands slide around her waist.
To listen to the full audio series, install the Pocket FM app now.